up we got deadlift. Whose favorite deadlift? Yeah, okay, Brittany. I like it. There's two different techniques that are quite different on deadlift. What are they called? You want to know? Go ahead, Mitch. Conventional versus sumo. Excellent. Conventional deadlift means your feet are in your jump stance. Okay? If you go ahead and if you want, you can jump. You are strong about hip twists apart. Okay? No one jumps like this. Because you're not strong there. Okay? You're not explosive there. So, jump stance about hip width apart, a slight abduction, a slight external rotation in the ankles. Okay, pretty much it's a dead straight foot, but a slight external rotation. Do not do this. Okay, what do we know about our knees and our toes? They've got to follow. Okay, our knees must follow our toes. If we externally rotate, you're going to hit the bar away like I just did. So, pretty straight, quite narrow, hip width apart. Again, your hips and your hips and your hips are not the same as mine. So, individually different. Hip width apart. We will then want to look at hand position. Now, the best position for your hands is vertically dead straight, because that's my longest arm. If I want to lift heaviest weight as possible, I want it to lift it as short as range as possible. Okay, I don't want to lift it more than I have to, because it's going to be very, very heavy. So, in order to lift it as short as length as possible, I want my arms as long as possible. Now, if I do this, or do this, my length of my arm changes. The longest length, and therefore the shortest distance for the weight to travel would be vertically straight down. Now, can I do that? With my body and my mechanics, I can. My arms, my shoulders are wider than my hips, and my arms can go straight down and not be impeded by my legs. But that's not the case for everyone, which is why some people don't like conventional. Some people want to do sumo, where their legs can get out of the way. We'll talk about sumo in a second. So, conventional deadlift, arms are going to be dead straight, hanging. Okay, relaxed arms. Okay, if anything, its triceps are locking out the arms. Okay, we do not want to pick up with our arms this weight. Okay, even at this light load, it's 130 pounds. I cannot curl this much weight. Okay, but my legs compress it. So I come up to the bar. Where do I want my feet in relation to the bar? Same as the squat. That weight should be over the middle of the foot. Same as when we had the bar on the squat. If I look straight down my body, directly over the middle, which means about an inch away from my shins. Okay, it's an inch away because as I descend, as I bend my knees, look what happens. My shins come towards the bar and they end up touching the bar. You want to be touching. So as I set up, about an inch away from the bar, arms are vertically straight. Okay, then it comes into my feet position are right, my hand position is right. How do I get everything to be tight and rigid in my torso? Because that's the most dangerous part about the deadlift, is if I flex my spine or I lift like this, I'm going to hurt myself. Okay, you're not strong in that position. So we talked about it with the squat, we talked about it with the bench. How do I keep a strong neutral spine?
Extend your shoulder.
Yeah, retract. In this case, even more so, depress the scapula. Pull the scapula down. Okay, all of you do that. Pull the scapula down. You did the same thing, right? The chest pops. If I pull my scapula into my back pockets, pull it down. That's a cue that I've heard. It's a great cue. Pull them down. Now my lats are turned on. I'm extending at the spine. I've got a neutral position, and I want to maintain that. What about hand grips? Okay, you've probably seen double overhand pronated grip. You've probably seen alternating grip. Okay, what's right? They're both right. Okay, alternating grip is a stronger grip. So if you're struggling to hold on to the bar, an alternating grip is good. I would recommend you do it both ways. Because if you slip out of one hand, it grips into the other. That's why the alternating grip is stronger. However, that doesn't really translate to any other lift. Okay, if I wanted to do a row, I don't row like this. If I want to do a hang clean, I don't hang clean like this. Okay, so the double overhand has a lot more application to other lifts, and I would recommend it. It's going to work your grip strength a lot. So, double overhand, elbows locked out through the tricep extension, leaning down, bar's about an inch away. I'm going to grab that bar, lock my hands in. Then I want to descend. I want to bring my butt down and squat down as pretty much as far as I can until I'm vertical in the arms. I'm not leaning, there's no diagonal, they become vertical. I want to push out ever so slightly my knees into my arms, but I don't want to bend the arm. Okay? I want to be able to turn on my hips a little more. In order to do that, I have to externally rotate a little bit. Grabbing the bar, I want to pull armpits into the hips, depress that scapula. Also, the lats extend the shoulder. Flexion, extension. I want the bar as close to my center of gravity as possible. It's in front of my center of gravity. So I want to pull it into my center of gravity the whole time. If it's on my center of gravity, I can lift a lot more weight. Okay, think about this. 15 pounds, easy to lift here. Not so easy out here. Okay, you're talking about hundreds of pounds when you deadlift. If you've got it an inch further away from your center of gravity, it becomes exponentially heavier. So, pull it in, start an inch away, armpits into hips, depress scapula, sit back, pull the bar into the shins the whole time, grind up, push the floor away, crown of the head to the ceiling. I'll repeat it. Inch away, grip in the hands, descend, knees go slightly into those elbows, armpits to hips, crown of the head to the ceiling, push the world away. Any questions? Any comments? Pattern. So again, width on sumo. It said sumo because it's wide. It's called sumo because it's wide. When you do sumo, you have to wide. Again, is personal preference. Okay, we want pattern. I feel weak in this. Pull it in. Start an inch away. Armpits into hips, depress scapula, sit back, pull the bar into the shins the whole time, grind up, push the floor away, crown of the head to the ceiling. I'll repeat it. Inch away, grip in the hands, descend, knees go slightly into those elbows, armpits to hips, crown of the head to the ceiling, push the world away. Any questions? Any comments? Pattern. So again, width on sumo. It said sumo because it's wide. It's called sumo because it's wide. When you do sumo, you have to wide. Again, is personal preference. Okay, we want to be able to have arms dead straight, hanging down. And how wide you go means knees still have to follow toes, and how much flexibility do I have in my adductors, my groin. Okay, can I get this? This is probably too far for me. I feel weak in this position, not strong. So for me, sumo's more like here. The setup is slightly different. The setup will be bar on the shins, not an inch away, but on the shins. The reason for that is that when I descend, my knees are going to go laterally. They're going to go out. They're not going to go forward and push the bar away. So as I come down, they can be in contact the whole time and it's not going to be a problem. Arms are vertically dead straight. And then instead of pushing the world away, I want you to think about pushing the world apart. If you were on a crack in our plates, tectonic plates, and you wanted to separate the world a little bit more, push out. Fire up these glutes. These are the biggest muscles we have in the body. Use them. So as you're coming down, as you come up, push away and tear the floor apart. Otherwise, the cues are pretty much the same. Pull the shoulder blades into the hips, crown of the head to the ceiling, pull the world apart. Bring it in, touching the shins. I descend as far as I can, looking forward, You'll see this being more applied if you have big hips. Bigger hips, especially in women where you have a larger Q angle, which is the femur, the ball and socket of the femur. As it comes in, they want to be just generally a bit wider. Well, it would be hard to get into this position for conventional if your body doesn't want to be there. So do what's comfortable. That's a big part of weightlifting. Go in here, externally rotating, and find out where you're stronger, where you're more comfortable. But again, everyone is slightly different. Questions? Let me check I said everything. Yeah, I did. Okay, we know about the muscles that are working. How do we warm up for this? Huh? Squats, absolutely. You could do some squats. Bodyweight squats, that would be replicating that movement. Maybe you could do some sumo squats, right? Replicate that movement. Depends again on your strength. Is that going to wear you out? We don't want to get fatigued. We want to become warm. What about the row machine? It's a great one, right? We're about to deadlift. We could row. Okay, we could row in. Again, make sure it's light and don't go over the top. We're trying to warm up, not fatigue. You could do the banded walk. You know, again, one of my favorites. Warm up these hips. Okay, walking is not hard. We can all do that. Not too difficult. Banded walk would be good. Lats, right? Our lats are keeping us erect and nice and rigid. They're also extending the shoulder. So keeping our bar next to our center of gravity into our shins. So warm up the lats. Maybe a straight arm pull down. Okay, get those things active. You will notice, you know, with that cue of keeping that bar on the shins, it may grind up your leg, okay? It may make it red, and even times it can even make it bleed if it's got a lot of knurling, which is the grippy part. It can really pull up and tear your skin. That's part of it though, okay? You can wear some protection, but you kind of just have to get used to that. That's where it's safest. The heavier you go, the more you're going to see that. I think that's about it.